keep yourself in great shape, but you go and play a football game for the first real contact in a while. How were you after that?
Felt good, man. I think the strength staff and training staff did a great job of not just helping me get healthy again, but also preparing to play. So definitely was sore, but felt good.
With you preparing to play, the Seahawks don't have the best run defense. Just how are you kind of looking at this weekend?
Well, I think each week's a new week. I think when you look at their defense, they have a great defense all around. I think they do have a good run defense and good pass defense. They play hard, they swarm. It's a division game too, so they say any given Sunday for a reason. This is a division game at home with a good team. We know what this game's about, and it's just going to be about going out there and executing and playing as hard as humanly possible.
Was it almost a relief to kind of get your first game out of the way?
Definitely. Definitely. I think that's a good word for it.
After the game, I think you mentioned there were a few things that you didn't quite feel like yourself yet on it. When you went back and looked, what was your kind of assessment of how you played?
I think, there's just, I think it's more of just how I felt. I think it's just new. I think the tape was good. You can always, you always want to break more tackles and, make great plays and stuff like that. But just good to get back into the feel of it. I think there's positives and negatives to not playing for a long time. The negatives are, you're not getting hit all the time, so you don't develop that kind of callousness. But the positives are, you don't think so much. You just go out there and play. And I actually felt like my eyes were pretty good looking back. And, it's just about getting back into the groove of things. But I feel great now.
Brock's throw, I know you were wowed by that when we first talked in the locker room after watching the tape. The degree of difficulty even higher on that when you see him getting hit.
Yeah, that was insane. I think most of the time when you're throwing that ball, when you see it go that high, that ball's going to go much farther than 20 yards, but he somehow managed to drop it in a bucket on his back foot with pressure in his face, and so that was a hell of a throw.
So one of those things where in the play, were you mad you didn't score? Is that what that was?
Yeah, I wanted to break that. Yeah.
Is it one of those things where in the running back room you're like, hey man, just re-rack that. Let's watch that again.
We watched it a few times. Yeah, I watched it a few times. Worth it.
Do you realize, is it almost like fresh legs coming in at this point in the season?
I don't know. Some days fresh, some days not. Yeah, I think when you're dealing with an injury, everyone, when you come back, I think it's a common misconception that you have fresh legs. For a long time there, I was struggling, walking to the bathroom. So you can't train for a long time, so they're fresh in the sense that, they haven't been beat up, but also you have to get back into training. I think that's why it takes a little bit long sometimes. So it was a lot of long days and, just a lot of taking it one day at a time. But now I feel great, getting back into the rhythm of things and I feel good.
Is there different post-rehab stuff you have to do now after do cameras in the shot?
I can't help you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've changed the routine a little bit. There's some things here and there that I've changed, some things I've added to the warm-up. And I wish I had, the answer of, here's exactly what to do all the time before and after. I think sometimes maybe I overcomplicated things, but who knows, man. I mean, I'm learning on the fly just like everybody else, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Unfortunately, the first part of the season, they didn't work for me, and it's just something I'll have to live with. But like I said, I feel good now. I like the plan now, and keep rolling.
Were there other athletes that you counseled with that may have had the same issues?
Yeah, I reached out to a few guys. There's some guys that were really helpful. I think one thing I learned about just the whole process is you get a lot of Instagram doctors out there. Some guys that, I had guys diagnosing my injuries, PhD doctors. I'm watching a Sunday night game, and some doctor's talking about my injury on the TV. I couldn't believe it. I'd never talked to him in my life. He's never seen, imaging, talk to me, diagnose me. It's just kind of the world we live in now. So I tried to, stay focused on my plan, what I trusted in, and go from there and try to limit all the outside noise because everybody's got an answer and they're all different.
Was there a little bit of sense of joy just to get back out there again too, because it's what you do?
Yeah, football is my favorite thing on the planet to do, and just being able to step on the grass is a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. So it was, awesome.
The bet
Still
loss
rivalry, Iowa.
into who? I'm just assuming.
I'm just a big Bruins fan this week. The Hawks did not get it done. in against UCLA. So both Brindle and one of our equipment managers put me up to this one. This feels better than Iowa State, though, I will say. Significantly better.
That Big Ten rivalry goes deep, though, with UCLA, doesn't it?
You know, speaking of Big Ten rivalries, have you guys seen Peter Volmet right behind you? I know, Wisconsin lost 42-10. That's tough. You look good, Pete. I look better. All right, any other football questions?
How do you feel going into this matchup against the Seahawks this week?
Always excited to play a division rival. I know Seattle's, they 1-6, anybody, in their last 6? So whenever you're playing a team who has high aspirations preseason and, started the season off well, like their backs are against the wall, kind of how ours have been the past couple of weeks. And when you go against a team like that, very dangerous, probably going to take more risks, try to more chunk plays, trick play, fake punt, that type of stuff. And Seattle, specifically like the last couple of years, they've kind of had our number with some fake special teams plays. And so I'm not in the special teams meeting, so I don't know what we're doing for that, but I just got to kind of be on guard with everything. And, just looking forward to our offense continuing we're going to be better on third downs. We're going to be better in the red zone. And, it's a huge NFC matchup for us and in the division. So it's, people throw around must win, but, it's one of those, we dropped 2 already in the division, so we kind of have to win this one.
A couple of throws by your quarterback. You have to just continue to be impressed by him. The one to you in the end zone that he kept alive, and then that one where he threw to the spot to Christian that he was able to go run under that.
Yes, the spot to Christian was absolutely crazy because he threw that when Christian was like 4 yards downfield. You agree, Christian? Very good throw. Yeah, very good throw. Tough catch, too. Christian caught that. It was beautiful. And then, the one to me, he was alive for more than 8 seconds, so... And then to give me a chance and put it in the back of the end zone where no one else had a chance at it, those are absolutely massive plays. Those are Pro Bowl, All Pro plays. Those are especially just keeping the play alive. And that was a huge play in the game too. 7 minutes left, we kind of need to score a touchdown and just give me an opportunity. And it's awesome because having that great relationship and having him trust me, but just for him to have the guts to throw that ball is huge.
When you catch passes at the beginning of practice and your tight end coach is draped all over you, are you simulating those plays that are against you?
Yeah, we always just try to because usually during a special teams period, some guys don't do stuff, which is totally fine. That's whatever you want to do. But my tight ends coach said, hey, let's try to get something out of this 10 minutes. And whether that's contested catches, what we call them, over the shoulder for those deep passes, back shoulder passes. We do, toe touches on the sideline, which I've somehow gotten a couple of those this year. And then just stepping back with the ball is the other one that we do. So just 4 things that you can happen in any single game, any practice. You just try to get as many reps of those as you can throughout the week.
George, when you say somehow toe tap, you obviously work on it.
I close my eyes a lot.
Yeah, but how have you kind of evolved in terms of getting better in that, and how's it paid off?
It's a combination of working at it, every once, twice a week for the last 3 years with my tight ends coach, Brian Fleury, and a combination of just, Purdy trusting me and just giving me an opportunity because, if you don't get an opportunity to catch those footballs, then you guys never get to see them. There's never any highlights or anything like that. So just that relationship with Purdy, I think, is a big part of it, just getting those targets, getting those ops.
How did that relationship kind of quickly evolve? Because your production in terms of touchdowns has gone way up since you took.
That's been nice.
Yeah,
it's been really fun. Well, one, I'd say I think a tight end, a vet tight end, is always a security blanket for a young quarterback. And then, Coach Shanahan has a great job when you have Debo, Ayuk, Jawan, Christian McCaffrey. While there's a lot of mouths to feed, it's kind of hard to double team anybody, and I do a pretty good job versus man coverage. And so anytime that we get that, I get a lot of ops, and anytime we get pressure looks, a lot of those pressure looks go to usually me or Debo, and so Brock does a really good job of avoiding pressure and giving us, you guys saw the one where he had 2 hot and he threw a nice one over the middle to Debo and then one to me, so we just get those opportunities, and when you take advantage of those and you make the most of those opportunities, Brock has that trust in you and he's just going to keep slinging it because he has a ton of confidence.
You guys take so much pride in the way that you run the ball.
Tired? Jeez Louise.
And you had 75 yards rushing against the Bucs, and that's the first time in more than 20 games that you didn't have even 100. Does those games kind of stick in your craw a little bit? Because you seem to have so much pride in the way you run the ball.
Yes and no. I always want to run for over 100 yards, but at the same time you have to be honest with yourself and be like, hey, is there anything I could have done better to help the run game? I thought the Titans had a pretty good run game this past week, and so while I don't know how much more I could have done, you're wide in defensive ends as much as you can. Guys got to make plays sometimes, and you've seen, Christian's broken 3 tackles, spun it, and ran 75 yards. That helps you get to 100, but, as long as you can run the ball efficiently and stay on the field and not have a bunch of negative yards, I'm okay with that. And I'd prefer to be over 100. It's way more fun and way more exciting. But we're just going to continue to try to get a little bit better and to continue to move outside linebackers.
How much do you enjoy the 35 to 40 carry games? I mean, you've talked
They're
about
fantastic.
it before, but for all you're doing receiving game, it seems like you almost enjoy that as much.
Well, when you have 35 to 40 runs, it usually means that you're winning. It means that you're staying on the field. That means you have the time of possession. It means you're converting third downs. And so that means you're playing winning football when you run the ball 35 to 40 times. I don't know, I'm pretty sure our statistic of winning, too, is probably like 90-something% when we have that many runs. And so, while, yes, having like 150 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns is fantastic and your fantasy coaches love you, winning's really fun. And 35 rushes, and when Christian has multiple touchdowns and 150 yards, and our backup running back has 75 yards, those are fantastic games.
2 more guys.
Yes and no. Honestly, my run tape hasn't been my favorite. I played pretty crappy against Dallas in the run game, and so there's just always things that you can work on. And so, not the cleanest. I think the receiving stuff is doing really well. I'm just getting a ton of targets in the red zone, so the stats always jump out at you. I do appreciate having 40-something targets by week 8, 9, 10, whatever that is. So the passing game's doing really well, but did definitely play better, which is kind of fun to know.
George, do you need to be personally a bigger part of the pass game without Ayuk the rest of the way?
Say that one more time. This helmet's blocking my ears.
Do you need to be a bigger part of the pass game the rest of the way because there is no Ayuk?
Do I need to be?
Yeah.
Whatever my team needs me to be, man. If I need 10 targets a game, if I need 2 targets a game, whatever it is, as long as I play the best of my ability, I know I'm helping this team win.